Apple is getting sued for stealing your data. So Apple loves to pat itself on the back with how they center their focus on user privacy. I mean, they've essentially gone to war with many companies like Facebook and made their data collection a lot more difficult. But it would seem that while they keep your data safe from others, the same standard doesn't apply to themselves. Also, hey, if you'd like some more tech news, please follow the channel. Security researchers have found that iOS sends every tap you make to Apple from inside of its own apps, even when you have the setting for data usage in personalized apps turned off. So depending on how much you trust these big tech companies, this might shock you, or it's something that we sort of all expected. I mean, all the big tech companies track user data and collect data without permission. There's tons of stories coming out all the time about TikTok, about Instagram and Facebook. I mean, a few months ago, I reported on how Instagram and Facebook would track every single thing you would type, look at, your passwords, credit card information, all that sort of stuff, if you just would open a link inside of their apps that would take you to their own in-app browsers. And well, now we have Apple on the stand, which is something that ticks me off a little bit more, because Apple is one of those companies that loves to appear superior, as in like, hey guys, we care about you so much and we take all of this so seriously. Well, they just brag about that and then they get caught with something like this, which, I mean, is kind of expected, because Apple seems to be developing sort of a new model for, just another revenue stream, because they've really cracked down on all of these external third-party data collecting methods, that Facebook and Instagram use. They introduced the new feature, the transparency mode, and stuff like that. And, now they are expanding into advertising on their own apps, like Apple Maps and stuff like that. So they want to get into the advertising business a lot more and generate some money from that. So basically, they've been caught with, stealing some of your data, even when you have the features turned off, like, hey, don't take my data, I don't want that, but, they still do it anyways, because it's hard to find out, essentially. I think this was only found out because they investigated on a jailbroken iPhone, because obviously this is very complex. We don't even know for sure every single thing that they track, just because it's encrypted. It gets sent to their servers, then they unencrypt it, and they just do whatever they want to do with your data, essentially. So they are now being sued because they're in violation of California's Invasion of Privacy Act laws, whatever. I'm not really too familiar with that, but I would imagine a lot of countries around the world have various different laws on this subject. I would probably guess Europe would, open up a lawsuit if this is true as well. So yeah, it's just another reminder to not trust these big companies. For example, I have a user by the name of Tactical Center that comments on my YouTube videos all the time, and he's the sort of a person where you could come up to him and be like, hey bro, I'm not stealing your data. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah. And then you're like, oh, so you trust me now? And he's like, what? No, why would I trust you? Like, I don't care what you say to me. He's the sort of a guy where you can be like, hey, this car has a V8 engine, it's great. And he's like, okay, but open the hood, because I don't care about what you say. Which is an approach that you need to take with a lot of these things online, a lot of these companies and stuff. I mean, obviously not just in tech, for example. So obviously this is a little bit of a bigger story, just because Apple is Apple and they pride themselves on user privacy. But, just a reminder that they are a company and they care about making money. They don't necessarily care about their users and their data.